Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and I want to take you on a journey here. So, you are standing in line for a big premiere of a brand new movie that's just come out, and you're so excited, and they seem to be showing you a significant amount of extra attention. And as you walk into the theater, they walk you right up to a location closer to the front of the theater, uh, an area that seems to be set apart for somebody very important, and they have you sit down. As you sit down, you can feel the seat underneath you. You can actually feel the excitement that's everybody around you as they're preparing for this new movie that's coming out. And they hand you your popcorn. You can smell it. You take a handful, put it in your mouth, and you can taste it. And they hand you your drink, and you set it up beside you. And you're sitting there ready and waiting for this movie to start. And then all of a sudden, the lights go down and the movie starts. And you see in your mind the exact scenes as they're coming across the screen. And you're going, okay, this is the story of my life. This is the movie of my life. And that's where a lot of us find ourselves a lot of times, is that we are sometimes feel like we're watching the story of our life unfold around us. Like the story of our life is telling us what's next, that we're predestined to do certain things, that the decisions we make, the choices we make are already determined, and we're actually going to move forward in one direction. And it seems to be that people are writing our story for us. Well, the truth is, there is some scientific basis for some of these things that are happening. Number one, the brain is separated into the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind is being bombarded, for lack of a better way of saying it, with information and sensations and so forth. And so this subconscious mind's job is to take any of this information that's not important and process it so that the conscious mind doesn't have to, so the conscious mind can focus on the things that are important. And so there's a area of the brain, the reticular activating system, that sits right at the base of the brain. And what it does is it determines what's important and what's not important. And it funnels all the unimportant things to the subconscious mind for it to handle. And it funnels all the important things to the conscious mind for it to handle. And so because of that, you're going to actually have things that you're interested in, things that you're worried about, things that you're thinking about are going to be the only things that you notice. So if you say, okay, I'm going to buy a new truck, you will start noticing all the trucks that are around and that were always there, but your reticular activating system, the RAS filter, was actually blocking them out because they weren't something that was currently important to you. So that's one piece of the puzzle here. The second piece is you've got a new process that they found because of working with persistent pain, called the pain neuromatrix, or the brain neuromatrix, which is a area of the brain that sees the world, interprets the world, and understands the world based on experiences and based on previous occurrences in your life. So basically, you get environmental influence, you get the genetic influence, but you also get the influences of what did your parents think and how did they act and what was their important in their lives and so forth. And so because of that, you're actually getting a different perception of pain, a different perception of the world, and even a different perception of who you are based on other individuals. So you've got this story that's in your mind. You've got the story that's in your body, the story that's playing out in front of you on that big movie screen. And it's not solely based on what's happening around you right now. You're getting influences from experiences you've had in the past. You're getting influences from good things and bad things that have occurred in your life. You're getting influences from how your parents were raised, how your parents raised you, how your parents see the world. You'll look at work, for example, based on how your dad and your mom looked at work. You'll look at education based on how your mom and your dad and your siblings looked at education. And all of these pieces are playing into the puzzle. All these pieces are part of the process. And you're going, okay, with that being my understanding, this is how the world is. And then you take that and you say, okay, now they put you in the education system where you're expected to be normal, average, and ordinary. And they put you in a box and say, okay, you're going to fit this mold. And you start to see the world based on that mold. Then you're educated, you're taught by certain teachers, and their opinions and their feelings and their ideas start to influence your opinions, your ideas, and your education. And so all of these play into the story that you're being told. We talked about names in one of the previous videos. Same thing. You're perceiving the world based on what people are saying about you and to you. And so you're starting to play those into your story as well. So with all that in mind, we start looking at it and say, okay, you've got this big story that is your life that's playing out in front of you. And the interesting thing is, if you look at this story and if you really look closely at it and you really evaluate your perceptions of the world, your thoughts, your things, you look at them scientifically or from an outside looking in, and your story, your life story, is more fiction than fact. So you basically got this story. The way you're seeing the world is a fictional story, not a non-fiction story, which is a big problem. But you're going, okay, well, but that's what society's telling me. That's what my culture says, my country says, my neighborhood says. That's what my religion's saying. That's what they taught me in education system. That's how my friends see it. I was watching the news, and that's what the news said. And so all of these give you a life story or even a life movie, like we were talking about, that is incorrect. It's not exactly how it should be. So let me give you some power. Let me give you some strength here. And I'm going to invite you even to do this at home, because it's very, very beneficial, where you're going to sit back and say, oh, okay, how do I see the world? What are some scenes, for example, from my past that I replay over and over again, positive or negative? Are there things that you actually bring back when you're walking into a situation that's uncomfortable? Do you have scenes, previous movie scenes in your mind from the past that are negative about that certain situation that you play before you walk in the situation to make sure it happens the way you expect it to happen? So make sure that when you're going into a situation where you think you're going to fail, you play some scenes first to make sure that you really do fail. And what things from your past are influencing the way you see the world? Do you look at work the way your dad did or your mom did? I mean, what's influencing that? And then the idea is to take a moment and write down the background that makes up who you are. What are the experiences you had? What are the positive and negative situations that happen in your life that make you who you are? And now, after you do that, if you take a little bit of time to write that down, the next step would say, okay, let me rewrite this story. Let me change the brain neuromatrix that I have going on. Let me change my perception of the world, my perception of pain, my perception of family, my perception of work, even my perception of success, and start to rewrite it. And the truth is, you are the individual who writes the movie, who writes the screenplay that becomes that movie. You're the one that directs every scene. Most of us think that the world and life is happening to us, but in fairness, you can actually take control. You can actually take that pen and you can actually say, okay, I'm writing this. And if you don't like the way the script is progressing, change it. You can actually make physical processes, physical changes to actually start moving forward. The biggest step you can take to start that process is to understand that the past did happen, but there's now nothing you can do to fix it. I work with my son on his basketball, and he's trying to get better training his basketball and so forth. And one of the biggest things that happen to a lot of athletes is when they fail, when they don't do it exactly the way they want to, they beat themselves up. And I was talking to Michael one day, and as he was shooting free throws, and he was starting to miss them, and he was missing them over and over again. He says, okay, stop worrying about what's already happened. Because the truth is, the shots you've missed, you've already missed. There's nothing you can do. Getting mad about it doesn't fix it. Focusing on it doesn't fix it. Truthfully, all it's going to do is influence the effectiveness of your shots after that. Well, the interesting thing we find with him is when he gets irritated and mad, he starts to miss more shots. And so his irritation at missing the first shot will cause him to miss the second, third, and fourth shots because he's starting to focus on missing, not focus on making. And we're doing that on a regular basis. That's the RAS filter. That's what it's for. The reticular activating system is designed to help you find what you're looking for. If you were a hunter and you're saying, okay, I need food, then what's going to happen is your mind is going to be focused through the RAS filter for all the locations where you could get food, and you're going to notice food in places where you normally wouldn't. That's a protectivism. But we do that with everything. We do that if you're saying, okay, this is going to be a bad day. Well, guess what? The rest of the day, you're going to focus on all the pieces that prove you right, that show you that it really is a bad day. So if you could literally say, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath before I get out of bed. I'm going to smile. I'm going to get up and say, oh, what a beautiful day. The rest of that day, you're going to start noticing all the things that prove that it really is a beautiful day. If you focus on being successful, you're going to have all of those things that are going to help you reach that success come into your life. You're going to start to notice them. You're going to start to recognize them. You're going to start to move forward for them. So you can create this. You can control and change the way this works. There are two laws that actually work, that are proven, that actually happen in your life. One is the law of attraction, that what you focus your attention on, you will attract into your life. So if you're actively focusing on, I want to see opportunities to serve other people, you will start to notice all the opportunities you have to serve other people. As you serve other people, you will notice more, and you will actually attract into those opportunities to serve and to help and to build other people. So that's law number one, the law of attraction. The second law is what they call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because of the way the mind works, because of the way the body works, and even from a psychological perspective, if you believe something is going to happen, you will unconsciously do everything possible to make it happen. If you say, well, I know I'm just not going to make this shot, your mind immediately goes to all the areas where you say, okay, how do I make sure I don't make this shot? So let me give you another example. So if you're talking to a child and you just poured a cup of milk and gave them the cup of milk, and you said, don't spill, what's going through that child's mind? Before they can actually put on that thing that says, okay, I'm not going to spill, they have to think about spilling. Let's simplify it even further. If you says, okay, I'm going to have you close your eyes. So everybody close your eyes. And I want you to not think about a purple elephant. What happened? What happened in your mind? The first thing that happened is you immediately went to the purple elephant so you could make sure you didn't think about it. So instead of not thinking about it, you thought about it. So if you could switch that in your life and say, I am going to think about a blue elephant, then you see the blue elephant, and you didn't think about the purple elephant because you didn't worry about it. And that's exactly what you need to be doing in your life as well. You say, okay, for that child, when you pour them that milk, you say, okay, be careful with that. What are they going to do? Their mind, their reticular activating system is going to immediately go to being careful, and they're going to actually be able to get there with less chance of spilling than if you tell them not to spill. So the question is, what are you allowing to be your reality? If you decide you're going to have a great day, you will focus on having a great day, and you will do everything possible unconsciously to make sure it really is a great day. Self-fulfilling prophecy. If you decide that you're going to be successful and you're going to find ways to do things that are quicker and better, then through the law of attraction, you're going to draw those opportunities into your life, so you can actually make those decisions. You can say, okay, I don't yet know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I don't yet know how I'm going to accomplish this goal, but that's what I'm working on. And as soon as you set the goal, especially if you were to write it down and do that, then you've now rewritten your story to work towards that goal. And you will start attracting methods, pathways, opportunities to help you reach that goal. And you'll start noticing them. And that's just the way that the world works. That's the way your mind works. That's the way your body works. So the big idea here is that you need to take control of that pen, and you need to write the screenplay, and you need to direct that movie, directing through the law of attraction, the things that you want to have accomplished in your life. And so that through the self-fulfilling prophecy, you're getting exactly what you're expecting to get. And so if maybe you have some problems, you have some difficulties, you say, well, I'm a procrastinator. Then change that and say, up until now, I'm a procrastinator. And now your reticular activating system is going to help you understand how you're not a procrastinator. You say, up until now, I haven't succeeded. Your reticular activating system is going to help you start to notice how you can succeed going forward. And even there's just so much power here that if you actually completely take control and say, I'm going to write my story, you can literally get complete control of an amazingly new opportunity. You can literally rewrite the story of your life from here going forward, and you can take complete control. Are you ready? Well, the truth is you're extraordinary, and you have the opportunity to reach your goals, live your dream, and enjoy the extraordinary life that you deserve. This is Dr. Brandt Gibson. Thank you for listening. It's time for you to rewrite your story and start writing a new story that allows you to become